Hi everyone, this video is a part 2 to the dressing techniques and adaptations video that came right before this. So make sure that if you'd like to go over the learning objectives of talking about different difficulties with getting dressed, looking at pieces of adaptive equipment, then be sure to go to the part 1 video that should be posted right before this one. In this video, we'll be going over different pieces of adapted clothing options and what that might look like for you, and the resources of where you can find these things. To start out, being able to use fine motor coordination to have control of your hand movements and be able to do smaller aspects of clothing like tying your shoes, tying laces, buttons, those sorts of things, that can be very difficult for you after you have a spinal cord injury. So one option of adapted clothing or shoes for that is you can always put on elastic shoelaces shown in this picture here so that you never have to tie and retie them. You can just slip your foot in and out. Another example of a change you could make to your shoes is instead of having laces at all, you can opt for an option like this where it's Velcro. And in this case, it's a men's slipper, and you can see the Velcro will just fold over the top, but having that nice big opening all the way through the top of the shoe does help to place your foot into the shoe a lot easier. Next, we have what looks like a typically fitting t-shirt that pulls over your head, but instead in this option, you can actually put the shirt on by threading your arms through the front, and it'll wrap around the back and have buttons on the shoulder to attach it at the back, so it's easy to get on and off from a bed or a wheelchair position. Just to give you a better understanding of what this looks like, this is the same shirt but from the back. So you can see that the buttons are on the shoulders, and you would just have someone clip and unclip the buttons, and then you'd be able to take it off from the front. This is a pair of sweatpants that have an elastic waist so that these are easier to manipulate as well. But again, it has the rip away buttons at the top over the bottom area. So if you have to use the bathroom, do any kind of bowel management, you wouldn't necessarily have to take off the entire pant to do that. You could just unbutton the top. Here's a pair of shorts that are similar to that. It has Velcros along the side so that, again, from a position in bed or sitting in a chair, these would be easier to put on and off without having to weight shift back and forth to pull pants up. For anyone who would be wearing a bra, it's typically very difficult to be able to reach behind your back and manage those clasps. So this is an adapted bra where there's a button at the front that you would clip after you sort of wrap the fabric around the front of you. One thing to keep in mind with these clothing options is that even if you're not the one who's dressing yourself and someone's helping you with this task, then this can even make it easier on the caregiver, the nurse, or whoever it might be who's helping you get dressed as well. You can find most of the pieces of adaptive equipment that we talked about in the first video, and also a lot of the adapted clothing that we just discussed on online shops like Amazon just by looking in the search bar. One website specifically is called Silverts. It has a lot of different adapted clothing options for people with different diagnoses and situations. Always keep in mind too that if you don't want to go out and buy new clothes, it's always an option that you take the clothes you currently have to a seamstress. Then they can go and make any modifications or changes that you think would be appropriate. Overall, there are several options to help with dressing. So if you need any help problem solving or would like to talk through some of your options, then please reach out to your therapist and they can help connect you to the right people and see what works best for you.